Hello traders, it's another week and we've got new account overview for you. So once again, hello traders, I am Simon from FTMO, and if you are new here, what we are doing is that we are funding traders that are able to pass our evaluation process. What we are doing in this video right here, right now, is that we are looking at the first two stages of the evaluation process, which is the challenge and the verification, and after that we are looking at FTMO accounts that are traded with real capital involved. I'm sure that most of you already know the drill, that's why you have clicked this video probably, and yeah, let's start. Of course, we are gonna start from the bottom up, so we are gonna start with two challenges. After that we are gonna look at two verification accounts, and finally we are gonna finish this video with two FTMO accounts. Okay, so the first challenge right here is a little bit of a roller coaster, honestly. You can see that there is a 0 right here, and this is basically this line right here is the initial capital. So there were actually 3 times that this trader dipped under the initial capital, unfortunately, but even though there are some major dips, for example this one, and especially this one, this trader was able to successfully finish the challenge. Of course, that is really good. Deposit for this challenge is 70,000 British pounds, so that's like our highest tier of the challenges. Of course, this is with sort of our new currency that we have added, British pound. Now this trader finished in 10 trading days. Now what is quite interesting is that this trader was quite close to hitting his or her max daily loss limit, which is 3,500 pounds. So this trader still had like 35 pounds left to not breach it, which is not that much, but if this trader is using stop losses, that really shows that this trader does have the discipline. The profit target here is finished very nicely. The trader made actually 128 pounds more than he or she was required to do, which is always quite nice, but of course it is not required. Now down here in the statistics you can see that this trader executed just 45 trades, which is kinda in the medium range, I guess, but regarding the lot size, it's actually really huge. That's 1,242 lots, and that's quite a lot. The average risk-reward ratio is 1.01, which is not really that great, but it is still above 1. So, I mean, it could be better, it always can be, but I guess it's at least above 1. And the win rate here is 60%. All around in the daily summary, you can just see huge volumes traded. So it is quite consistent, if you ask me. Some really nice profits here and there. Of course, there are some losses here and there, but I guess that those dips and those rebounds right here happened in the same day, because you cannot see really any day that closed in high loss. Now visiting the last page of the trading journal, you can see just huge volumes traded all around. I guess that this trader is just chasing very few pips, and most of the trades are actually executed on euro and Japanese yen. He or she is using sometimes stop loss, not really take profit for some reason, and for some reason not even stop loss in many cases. So I really don't know what is behind these trades. But it is what it is. Most definitely this trader is profiting mostly on selling, a little bit on buying also, but not really that much. And the single most profitable instrument here is truly euro and Japanese yen, and you can see that this trader trades just Forex, so there is that. Okay, so this is it for this one. You can see that this trader really specializes on Forex, trading huge volumes, and basically just chasing few pips per trade. Okay, so this is another one. Now straight away you can see that this is more calm than the previous one. I mean, there is still a dip right here, which is not really what you want to see, but it is not as wild and crazy as the previous trader. Now this is for 20,000 British pounds and still finished in 10 trading days. Regarding the max daily loss and max loss limits, they are not even close to being breached. Otherwise, right here isn't really anything that interesting. Now in the statistics you can see just 21 trades, so that's not really a good sample from which you can evaluate these numbers. Regarding volume, way more mild than the previous trader. This is just 15 lots that are being traded. Of course, we don't know the instruments that are being traded, so we will look at that a little bit later. But the average risk reward ratio here is almost to its 1.86, so that's quite nice. And the win rate here is 61, almost 62%. But still keep in mind that these numbers can be a little bit skewed because it of course takes average from 21 trades, so that's not really a good sample. Now, if I scroll through the daily summary, you can see that it is quite consistent. You cannot really see any disturbance here since overall this trader trades really low volumes. Okay, so now I'm at the last page of the trading journal and you can see just a bunch of stuff being traded. But you can also see US 100 index. So that's the reason why this trader is not using that high of a volume. Because understandably, you don't need to open like 10 lots of US 100 to make some good profit. Also, I can see that this trader is trading gold and some Forex, but not really that much, not as much as US 100. Now, I don't really understand why this trader is not using stop losses and take profits, or rather he or she is using them sometimes. So that's kind of weird here. Anyway, down here you can see that this trader is mostly profiting on selling, on buying just a little bit, but still is. And the most profitable instruments are these three. So that is US 100 index, that is British pound and Japanese yen, and gold. Okay, so this is it for this one. Of course, we will see him or her in the verification phase, so we will look forward to that. And now let's look at the verifications. All right, so this is the first one for $10,000 and straight away you can see that it's pretty wild actually. There are two major dips in the balance, and it is right here, this dip right here, and this dip right here. And both of these times the trader went under the initial capital, which is not really that great, but still he or she was able to manage the psychology game and still managed to get the profit target, even more than that. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the profit target was reached even $60 more than he or she was required to. So keep in mind that this is for $10,000, so the profit target is not really that high. And since this is the verification phase, we require from our traders to make just 5%, not 10%, as it is the case in the challenge. And even though this trader went into a loss from the initial capital, so theoretically this number should be a little bit more, but keep in mind that these limits calculate not only your closed positions but also your open positions. So we can assume that at this point this trader had some open positions going for him or her, so that basically made his equity higher. Now here is a reasonable sample of 96 trades using 22 lots, so that's quite average if you ask me. Now the average risk reward ratio is 1.75, which is quite nice, quite okay, and with a win rate of 51%, it's still quite nice profitable strategy. In the daily summary, the profits are still quite nicely distributed across all days. I mean, on this day and on this day you can see that quite high volume was being opened, but still without these profits this trader wouldn't be able to reach the profit target since there is a loss on this day right here. And even though it is quite high volume, you can see that it is distributed across many trades, at least in this case also, but not really as much as on this day. So I guess that it is still quite nicely distributed. Once again, in the trading journal, we can see mostly US 100 being traded than Bitcoin. And that really explains why the overall volume used here is quite low. So, you know, you don't really have to open that high of a volume when you are trading indices. Now, this trader is not really using any stop losses or take profits for some reason, but it works, so that's all right. This trader is still a day trader just like the previous ones. And regarding the profits and the distribution across the symbols and positions, you can see that this trader is mostly profiting on selling, actually losing on buying, so this trader will be better off not really executing any buy positions. And the most profitable instrument is definitely, absolutely US 100. Then there is your USD and Bitcoin, but it is not really that important here. Okay, so we will of course see this trader on the FTMO account, so we will be looking forward to that. Okay, so this is the last account that we are gonna look at before we are gonna go through the FTMO accounts. And straight away you can see that it is not really that pleasant to look at, since there are these huge dips right here and here. And also I kind of feel sorry for this trader, since there were these points where the profit target was almost reached, so that is like $500 until the profit target, but then this huge dip happened, so that is quite unlucky. But even though this happened, this trader was able to finish successfully, so that is quite nice. These quite huge dips also could be the reason why this trader took 12 trading days to finish the challenge, or rather verification phase, instead of minimum of 10. The max daily loss was actually like $700 from being breached, so that's not really that amazing, but not really too bad. Now max loss was not even close. Now going through the statistics, 88 trades were opened using almost 230 lots, so that's reasonable sample in my opinion. Average risk reward ratio is 0.77, which is not really that great. The win rate here is 63%, so together combined still should be profitable strategy in the long run. There is really a lot to improve in regards to average risk reward ratio, but if it works and this trader is able to stay at these levels in the long run, it is still profitable. In the daily summary, there are mostly green numbers, so most of the days are finished in profit. There are these two dips that I guess are these dips in the balance, so there is that, but of course nothing that unusual here. In the trading journal I can see mostly Forex, also a little bit of gold here and right here. Most of the positions are actually executed on intraday basis, with an exception of this one as far as I can see. Of course we just see the last page of the trading journal, and stop losses are mostly used. The same is true for the take profits, so at least that's improvement over the other traders. Down here in this last section we can see that most profits are made on buying. If this trader wasn't selling, maybe this could be a little better for him or her. And the absolute winner in regards to most profits made on a single instrument is Euro and Japanese yen. Actually, we can see that many traders are able to get some really nice profits on Forex pairs that include Japanese yen for some reason. You can even see that British pound and Japanese yen is being used here. Even USD and Japanese yen, but not really that profitable, but still profitable. Okay, so this is it for this trader. Of course, we will see this trader on the FTMO account, and hopefully we will see him or her making some quite nice profits. Okay, so we are now finally gonna look at FTMO accounts with real capital traded. Now keep in mind that we have erased numbers of these FTMO accounts. Of course, this is because these traders are still trading and we don't want to put more pressure on them. Okay, so this trader has really interesting balance curve. Now this is because the start for this trader was not really that great. Actually, almost this trader breached the max daily loss as far as I can see. There were just $500 that were protecting this trader from the max daily loss breach. But even so, this trader was able to pull off some really nice profits. And now this trader is at this point right here. So actually this trader started on 27th of August. The next profit split is on 27th of September. So this is going to be the first profit split, and that is really great. If you want to know how much this trader is going to get, well, if this trader stopped trading at this point, you can just take this number and multiply it by 0.7, and I suppose that you get something over $10,000. Now, as I already mentioned, this trader was quite close to breaching the max daily loss. The max daily loss and the max loss are actually at quite similar level as far as I can see. Now, if we look at the statistics, this trader executed 273 trades. So that's quite a lot and a really reasonable sample from which we can evaluate the rest of the numbers. Now the volume traded is 1,217 lots. So I guess that's average for this amount of trades. And the average risk-reward ratio here is 0.61. So there is much to improve here, but with a win rate of 75%, if this trader is able to keep this up in the long run, he or she will bring more and more profit. And once again, we can see that most of the positions are executed on British pound and Japanese yen, so GJ, and there is actually even gold being traded. Now, sometimes this trader uses stop loss, sometimes he or she is using take profit, but not always. So that's kind of weird, but if it works, it works. And finally, down here in this section, the buys and the sells are actually not really that different. There is a difference of almost $3,000, but it is not like he or she should avoid buying or selling. And the absolute most profitable symbol here is truly GJ. So British pound and Japanese yen. All right, so this is it for this one. Hopefully this trader is able to pull off these great profits in the next month that are about to come. And we will look at the last account. Now this is the last account, still for $100,000. Was started on 15th of June. Still not a great start. And there is this dip right here, which is not really that pleasant to see. And right now, the profits are $7,000. Once again, you can take this number, multiply it by 0.7, and that's what this trader's next profit split will be. So on 15th of October, this trader will get this amount by 0.7. Now, the max daily loss and max loss were not even close to being breached. So this one is trading more safely, if I could say so, than the previous one. In the statistics, we can see way less trades executed. And that's quite interesting since this trader is trading for a longer time than the previous one. But it is what it is. And the number of trades is 39. And the volume is quite high for that amount. It's 234. The average risk-reward ratio is way higher. It's 2.2, and the win rate is 41%. So not really that great win rate, but with a 2.2 risk-reward ratio, it's quite good. Now there is quite an interesting pattern in the daily summary, so I guess that this has something to do with psychology. This trader is trading mostly just one position per day, I suppose. Sometimes it's two. I think that I have seen three, yes, right here, three. But not really more than three at any single given day. So I guess that this trader really waits for those perfect entries to happen. On this page of the trading journal, we can see just Forex, a lot of Euro and Japanese yen as far as I can see. And interestingly enough, this trader is always using stop loss and never take profit. So he or she is managing the risk nicely and letting those profits run as far as they can. What I don't really understand is why this trader opens 6.33, sometimes 8.34. But as long as it works, that's fine with us. Down here in this last section, I can see just this huge bar, and that means that this trader made over $9,000 just selling. Now buying is just really this thin bar, and it resulted in just minus $87. So basically this trader is on break even on buying and really profiting on selling. And the most profitable instruments here are once again Euro, Japanese yen. So once again a symbol that includes Japanese yen, and also Australian dollar and US dollar. And basically that's it for this trader. If he or she is able to repeat this profit, it will be quite nice. And with that, this is it for this video. If you have any sort of feedback, any questions that you might have, leave them down in the comment section. Of course, you can always contact us at our website on the live chat. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our FTMO YouTube channel, follow FTMO on social media, and as always, trade safe.